I think it's getting really good hype for a game no one's seen.
Welcome to Starfield.
Giant open world for the player to do what they want. Open world for the player to do what they want.
Dreamt
Do
of
what they
playing.
want. Do what they
It's
want.
only now that we have the hardware, the technology, and the experience to push our creative boundaries even further. In it, we invite you to join Constellation, the last group of space explorers. It's a next-generation role-playing game where you'll be who you want, go where you want, experience our stories, and forge your own. More than that, Starfield's about hope, our shared humanity, and searching for the answers to life's greatest mystery. We have a lot to share.
Where Starfield takes place.
Our game is set in the year 2330, in a relatively small pocket of the Milky Way, in an area that extends outward from our solar system for approximately 50 light years. Around 20 years before the start of the game, the two largest factions in the settled systems, the United Colonies and Freestar Collective, engaged in the bloody Colony War. Today, the major factions enjoy an uneasy peace, but the settled systems is still pretty dangerous. There are plenty of human threats out there, like ecliptic mercenaries, pirates of the Crimson Fleet, violent spacers, or even the fanatical religious zealots of House Varun. The organization known as Constellation is committed to uncovering the mysteries of the galaxy, and as one of its newest members, you'll explore the deepest reaches of the settled systems, and you'll find yourself at home in the Starfield.
A glance at the locations within Starfield.
Behold Aquila City, the capital of the Freestar Collective, a loose confederation of 3 distinct star systems. The city itself is home to a variety of people, but they all have one thing in common. They believe in the sanctity of personal freedom and individuality. Aquila City is walled for a reason, and stepping outside those walls means facing the deadly Ashta, alien predators that are a cross between a wolf and a velociraptor. What you're looking at here is the pleasure city of Neon. The Xenofresh Corporation built a giant fishing platform on a rather nondescript aquatic world. They wanted to catch fish until they discovered a fish with psychotropic properties. They could make way more money selling a drug than they could fish. That drug is Aurora and is legal only on Neon. People come from all over to experience it and everything else Neon has to offer. What you're looking at here is the spaceport of the city of New Atlantis, the capital city of the United Colonies, or UC, the most powerful, established military and political faction in the game. The city is a true melting pot, and its residents come from every race, creed, and ethnicity. In a lot of ways, New Atlantis is a true reflection of the future of our world.
The factions of Starfield.
We always make a bunch of different groups that represent some of the major factions in every game. And in this one, we've got the United Colonies that represents the future Space Republic, idealized. You also have the Freestar Collective, which is the space Western fantasy, people that are out there on the frontier. We've got Ryujin Industries, which represents corporate life. I think it has one of the best starts of any of the factions we've done.
It's a megacorp, and you get hired, right? Like that you would do, right?
Can Starfield be played any way you want?
You know, what we're doing with the pirates, the Crimson Fleet as well. They're not just this foe. Let the player join them. What does that mean?
The cool thing about Crimson Fleet, you know, what if you're a good person and you want to be a good player and you don't want to play as a bad guy? You can side with the pirates, or you can report back your superiors and be like basically space cop type of thing. So let you be a good person and still play with the bad guys. I think that's really cool too.
When will the game be unveiled?
Everyone should be very patient.
That's fair.
Yeah. I will say this. I like it to be I like when you really see the game to when it's out is as short as possible.
Yeah.
As short as people will let me.
I mean, with Fallout 4, you guys, again, inspired a lot of other publishers to kind of go that same route of, we're going to announce it and then ship it 6 months later.
5 months, yeah.
5 months.
Yeah, that was as short as I was told anyone would allow me to do.
You would go shorter if you could?
Oh, yeah.
What game engine is it using?
And once we got on the new systems, the things we found we could do. And so it's a major engine rewrite on that game. And
it's been a huge jump. It's probably our biggest ever. I could say Morrowind to Oblivion. That had been our biggest. This now feels bigger to us.
How far is Starfield in development?
We're at a state where we can play the whole game,
Yeah.
but again, there's so much to do. It's a very, very ambitious game, and we're not going to let off the gas there. And given how the world's gone, it's hard to project exactly what's going to happen when.
Is Starfield Skyrim in space?
I think some people want to hear that Starfield is Skyrim in space, and other people, that's the last thing they want to hear, and they want it to be something completely new.
I say, is it Skyrim in space? I say in all the best ways.
In all the best ways. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Starfield is a single-player experience.
Its focus is single player. Whether it has some social connection, I don't know. I don't want to guess right now.
Okay.
But that's our focus for that game.
It's not one of these share world games we get to follow, but it's very much like your next big epic single player.
Exactly. Yes.
How Starfield differs from Skyrim.
It's got a more realistic, science-based backing to it, whereas Skyrim is sort of an epic fantasy. This is a more grounded game and a grounded setting about exploration. So I think that gives us a different take on how we make everything. So that's sort of the thing you latch onto when we're making new areas, making environments, making characters.
Yeah, it starts feeling so real to us. Like all you're saying, we do all that stuff, but then concepting like everything they eat, or the toys the children play with, or what are their bedtime stories? What is their art? What is their history? What is their entertainment? It is a universe, not just a game.
RPG elements.
A lot of us have been doing this for a long time together, and it's nice with Starfield to go back to some things we didn't do, the backgrounds, the traits, the defining your character, all of those stats. And I think there's so many games now that do those things that people are ready for something that does a lot of the things that, older hardcore RPGs, some that we used to do, doing those again in a new way.
A look at the character model.
This game we've definitely severely leveled up. The tech is based on scanning of real-world models, similar to the photogrammetry we do in our landscapes. We're kind of applying the same thing to our people as well. Because it's not just the appearance of your player and all that, but we want all the personal interactions of NPCs, other characters in the game to be as impactful as possible. And for that, you have to believe these are real people. You're a real person interacting with real people.
Will there be mechanics similar to other Bethesda games?
Yeah, we sat down and it was funny. We didn't start with, let's do an evolution of, let's look back at the old Oblivion system, but there are a couple of beats there. You have to think about, what's my risk here, right? Which one do I want to choose? We didn't want it to be a system where there was definitely the right thing to say.
It feels like you're having a conversation where you're actually trying to persuade somebody of something. So it's actually, I think it's, as far as new systems in dialogue, I think it's definitely one of the most successful ones that we've had.
How immersive is Starfield?
Everyone needs to be patient on that, but what I can say is like how we approach it so it feels, it's a game, but it still has an authenticity to, okay, this could happen.
Yep.
We talked like, what kind of fuel do the ships use? Like we're using helium-3, which we can debate whether that's a good power source for spaceships, or how do the physics work in space and gravity and those kind of things. And that's where you get into, we have to gamify it some, so that it's not as punishing as actual space travel, but that it feels like, hey, traveling in space in our game is still, let's say it's like flight in the 40s, like it's dangerous. It's still dangerous to go and explore, but even though lots of people do it.
They say, the wonder is, not that the field of stars is so vast, but that we have measured it. You're part of Constellation now. Part of our family. What you've found, it's the key to unlocking everything.
We reach your constellation.
This is all we've been working towards.
Jemison route looks good.
We've come to the beginning. of humanity's final journey.
Prepare for departure. Graviton loop array full. Check. Your space lane is clear.
That's why we're here.
Main engines go. Ignition.
To discover what's out there.
Good luck, Constellation. You are go for launch.